remarkably shotgunny. One thing I was rather disappointed about with this blaster, doesn't have internal storage. It does have storage back here, but it's not quite the same. When videos gone by, I've made interesting contraptions for the sledge fire, which enable it to load quicker and fire faster. I wanted to do that with a trilogy as well. You know, trilogy like in the Hobbits, 2 eyes and guard. The Hobbits, 2 eyes and guard. That kind of trilogy. Avada Kedavra! That is not a trilogy. You be not paying me enough for this. I volunteer as tribute! That kind of trilogy. Well, that's a good start. It's just begging, it wants it to happen. This blaster is so desperate to be an auto-loader. So we get some cardboard, quadrop box, that'll do it. Don't anybody ever tell me this isn't a classy channel. What's up with this guy and his duck? Everyone else here has got some kind of sensible zombie slaying weapon and he's just like, whack whack. You crazy, Hasbro. I got some scissors somewhere. Where are those scissors? Mrs. Jolt was complaining the other day because she could never find these scissors in the house. I bring them in here to use and then I swear there's some kind of little gremlin that steals them and hides them. Oh, that'll do. Either that or there's a bunch of scissors in the corner somewhere just hiding, giggling at me. Good start. I don't even know where this table came from, so I'm not too worried about putting scratches in it. Not a bad fit at all, that. About there-ish duct tape. So one thing to consider when sticking anything onto the blaster is the fact that it can't be on this side. Ryan Engelstadt's duct tape, by the way, thank you very much again. Had a lot of use out of that, actually. There, and that should about do it. That is actually surprisingly secure. Got moustaches on it. We'll load these into there. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll see how we go. Not quite as intended. Let's try again. This is too far forwards, which means that when this opens, the shell doesn't quite fall all the way in. It's a little bit further forwards, and we're still getting the same issue. So with a little shake, in principle, that works. You take the shell and kind of drop it in, so that an individual side of the shell hits the deck first. It's much more likely to stay in place. It needs to lie like this, on one of its points like that. It goes straight in and down. I'm a little bit tempted by the idea of putting a little ridge just there to kind of flip it as it falls. Now I've just got a little ridge of duct tape there. Ah, there are the scissors. That is what we're after. That is perfect. 1, 2, and I haven't got a clue where the other one's gone. Let's go with 2 for now. With 2, the extra weight pushing down, I think, forces them both down forwards, which isn't what we're after. If there was a back on this, then the front one wouldn't be able to tip forwards. 1 shell, and that second shell now always falls into the right place. And that's mostly because of the duct tape lip that I put in there to flip the shell around as it was falling, which is brilliant. So I guess what we need to have then is a situation where the shell on top falls, but the shell directly above it doesn't. So that opens, the shell falls down, but you don't want the shell above it to fall until you've closed it again. I suppose one way to avoid the next shell from falling downwards would be to have the next shell come from behind. Maybe, just maybe, we can have a tube going out this way, which we could fill with shells. So imagine a tube coming out there, and we'll leave the bit up top just in case we get jammed. I'll take this on now. In theory, all of my shells should be able to go in there. And then when I'm ready to progress to the next shell, I can just push another one in. It needs to move further that way. It goes in there, and then the next one goes just there. Oh my goodness! We're getting somewhere with this now. This is exciting. On that there, so let's have a bit more duct tape over to patch that up. With a bit of a shake, it works. Hey! Sadly, I've already destroyed 2 of my Trilogy shells, and I've only got 3 left. So any hopper that I make right now is going to be limited to being able to fire 3 shells. However, I believe that we've pretty much got this sussed. And that if you were to extend this tube backwards, you could pretty much load it with all 5 shells if you were willing to make it about... 1 second. 1, 2, 3... If you were willing to make it this long, you could fit all of these shells inside. Now, loading up the first shell is simply a case of putting it in and pushing forwards. That is now loaded. Isn't that phenomenal? Even just to be able to do that, it's worth it. Next shell and third shell, get that the right way around, also goes in. Now, fire. And with a bit of shape and with a bit of encouragement, the next shell goes in. That shell gets ejected. Next shell goes in with a bit of encouragement. And fire too. I'm actually going to go ahead and chop the top off of this now so that I can do some more adjustments if needed. I don't think this is going to work as a vertical hopper. I've actually kind of come full circle and decided I don't want a rear loading hopper. I'd rather load in the top to allow gravity to do some of the work for me. So we load shells in there, they then slide down into there and are ejected out here. And using just this hopper alone, we can actually fit 4 shells. I've only got 3, but let me explain. Imagine that there's already a shell loaded into this blaster. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Bang. And you can see there that we've just been able to fire, theoretically, 4 shells off. And that can be expanded simply by adding more space to store shells in this vertical hopper system here. And this opening here provides a useful space to unjam shells if needed. Well, that last one didn't come out, but you can see it still fired. So what we've got here is a hopper system that's just about as reliable as the Trilogy is. Sure, the Trilogy doesn't always eject shells like it's meant to, but theoretically you can load 4 of these in and prime fire, prime fire, prime fire, with a little bit of jiggling in between without having to reach back and reload one of these each time. Using these high-grade specialist materials, we've been able to create something truly phenomenal. I'm looking forward to more Trilogy adventures.